Wednesday of the 30th week in Ordinary Time.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Romans. Brothers and sisters, the Spirit comes to the aid of our weakness, for we do not know how to pray as we ought, but the Spirit himself intercedes with inexpressible groanings, and the one who searches hearts knows what is the intention of the Spirit, because he intercedes for the holy ones according to God's will. We know that all things work for good for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. For those he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, so that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those he predestined, he also called. And those he called, he also justified. And those he justified, he also glorified. The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm. The response is, My hope, O Lord, is in your mercy. Look, answer me, O Lord, my God. Give light to my eyes, that I may not sleep in death, lest my enemies say, I have overcome him, lest my foes rejoice at my downfall. My hope, O Lord, is in your mercy. Though I trusted in your mercy, let my heart rejoice in your salvation. Let me sing of the Lord, he has been good to me. My hope, O Lord, is in your mercy.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. Jesus passed through towns and villages, teaching as he went and making his way to Jerusalem. Someone asked him, Lord, will only a few people be saved? He answered them, Strive to enter through the narrow gate, for many, I tell you, will attempt to enter but will not be strong enough. After the master of the house has arisen and locked the door, then will you stand outside knocking and saying, Lord, open the door for us. He will say to you in reply, I do not know where you are from. And you will say, We ate and drank in your company, and you taught in our streets. Then he will say to you, I do not know where you are from. Depart from me, you evildoers. And there will be wailing and grinding of teeth when you see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourselves cast out. And people will come from the east and the west, and from the north and the south, and will recline at table in the kingdom of God. For behold, some are last who will be first, and some are first who will be last. The Gospel of the Lord.
The first reading comes from Romans 8, 26 to 30. We hear that the Spirit comes to our aid in our weakness. Remember, last week we heard about how Paul knew what was right, wanted to do it, but didn't have the strength to do it. The Spirit is the one who gives us that strength, that courage, to take the leap of faith, to trust when it doesn't seem possible. In fact, the Spirit teaches us how to pray. We ourselves don't know what we should be praying for. The Spirit who resides in our heart teaches us that which is good for us and teaches us how to ask for true life. Not things that are material, that are passing, but rather the things that are most important. And at the second part of the reading, we hear that God has a plan and he fulfills that plan. Those he predestined, he called. Those he called, he justified. Those he justified, he glorified. Now, predestination doesn't mean that some people are chosen and other people are not. Rather, predestination means that we were created so that we would be saved. Now, obviously, we can reject that invitation by sinning, but that's not what God intended. God intended for all people to be saved. In fact, in a couple passages in the New Testament, we hear that our names are written in the book of life before the foundation of the world. Before anything existed, God knew us by name, intended for us to exist and to share his glory. The Gospel is from Luke 13, 22 to 30. Someone asks, are only a few people going to be saved? And Jesus speaks about the fact that following him is not easy, that we have to not only give lip service to our faith, but we have to live it. And the previous criteria that some people were chosen, other people were not, is no longer valid. Because some people who are the chosen people, children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, will not enter the kingdom. Whereas some people from the east, the west, the north, the south, the Gentiles, will enter the kingdom. What is the difference? That they have faith. Their faith is expressed not only in words, but in deeds. And may God bless us.